the love I got for my baby still in the womb, when she was born, I did not know that affected me mentally. So I went through postpartum depression. For me, because I had lost so much and I had not dealt with the loss, I became very clingy to my child that I could never release the child. Where you stay for 2 days, you can't shower, you can't sleep, because you fear that if you sleep, the baby will be taken. She was 15, gets gang raped, and it was a bad one because the people who took her to the police, and it was a different case that took so long. The people misunderstood. They thought it's her foster dad who has done that. So in the process of beating the mob justice, trying to get justice for this girl, and it was not the father. So this father has to be in the police custody for so long until the girl gives birth. And in the process, when the mob justice came to beat the dad, there was a young girl who was 6 years old in the process who got, later after the dad was rescued by the police, the girl died because she got sick and died waiting for their father.
What really needs to change urgently for the deaf pregnant mothers?
We need more people in our space, but we realize because of funding, we can't employ so many people. We can't, actually, I work with the volunteers because we have not been funded yet. So you find these are our struggles, because even if we want to be here and there's a case that a deaf person needs support, maybe let's say in Mathare, maybe in Kibera, you need transport even if you're not charging the services. You need to get there. You need, some of these moms, when they get pregnant, they go through struggles of lack of employment. The sign language is more practical. So when I explain something, I also need to follow it up. One of the moms gave birth one time, and there's some dawa they put in the eyes of the children, of the babies when they are newborn. When they were being discharged, that she needed to wipe the eyes. So she goes home, keeps the baby. 2 days later, I ask, how is the baby doing? Says the baby doesn't open the eyes, only sleeps. Then I'm there wondering. I said, let me go and see. Instead of asking, and maybe it's something different. I thank God that I went, because this baby would have had jaundice. So, the eyes have some discharge. Discharge closes completely if you don't wipe. So that made me see this child maybe the eyes would have been affected differently if I did not go.
Has this work ever broken your heart?
Many times.
What if a single shift in your perspective could transform everything? Welcome to Perspective Flux, a podcast dedicated to evolving viewpoints, lifelong learning, and personal greatness. My name is Jemima, and I'm here to guide you through the beautiful chaos of growth. Welcome to Perspective Flux. My journey, your invitation. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Perspective Flux, the podcast where your viewpoints matters, your voice matters. Today, I'm really humbled to be joined in by the director of the Talking Hands and the Listening Eyes, Seeing Through Love. So we are going to dive into this. Just can you imagine that the hands that carry what eyes cannot see and ears cannot hear? So today is just about love, and you would like to know more how the deaf are well taken care of, and even the blind, if I may add so. Because we have Judy Kihumba, the director for the Talking Hands and the Listening Eyes, with us here today. Most of us take our sight or our ears just for granted. We take the ability even to see our babies, the ability to hear their first cry, just for granted. But remember, today we are going to be explained to by Judy, the director for the Talking Hands, on how she takes care of the deaf mothers, the deaf pregnant mothers. Sometimes when you're talking about vulnerability, we're talking about disability, we always talk about the crippled, we talk about, the children, or we talk about those who face a lot of anger. And sometimes, and not even sometimes, most of the time, the blind or the deaf are not in the question. So today we want to consider them, and as they are also listening in their special way. Since we have the interpreter, we have the sign language person around, they are going to also enjoy with us. So please, let's dive into this. This conversation is going to break you open in the best possible way. It is going to remind you what humility looks like when it shows up fully. So, I'd like to welcome the director of the Talking Hands and the Listening Eyes today at Perspective Flags. I'm so glad you made it today.
Thank you
Karibu
very
sana.
much. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
thank you for
so
having
glad.
me.
Thank you so much for your
Yeah,
time.
thank you.
Yeah, so this Judy, she's going to talk more about herself and she's going to introduce herself so that you can know more about these talking hands and listening eyes.
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
over to you, Judy.
Wow. Thank you very much, Jemima, for having me. I feel very honored, especially a time like now. My name is Judy Kihumba. I am a sign language interpreter. I am also a disability inclusion expert, so I am so much into the world of disability. I'm the founder of Talking Hands, Listening Eyes, where we advocate for maternal and mental wellness of deaf women. Above that, I'm a mother of many, I would say of many. I have 3 beautiful girls, and I am also a wife to one Mr. Andrew Kihumba. I'm glad to be here. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Just before we do anything, you've told us who you are.
Yes.
Beyond the title and the work, who is the woman behind this mission? Because I know the mission is critical. I mean, it's a special mission.
Yes.
Yeah, just like I've said, that, you know, most of the time when you talk about the vulnerability, you talk about the young girls going to school, it's a bit dangerous for them. They'll be harmed by some dangerous men around. But I don't think we really talk about the deaf so much, even the blind.
Yes.
And here you are.
Yes.
Why this mission? Just really what triggered this?
Wow.
Yeah, what made you to have this? And even before that,
Yes.
I'd like you to tell my beautiful community, and those who are just joining, Perspective Flux is a podcast whereby we share in our own perspective. We enjoy the freedom of how just to craft our thoughts. So anyway, so I just like you, I'd really love that you explain to the beautiful community that is now watching us, where did this name come from? Talking hands and listening eyes. Yes.
Wow. I think Talking Hands, Listening Eyes is divine. I would say that. But I'd say the whole idea was Talking Hands, Listening Eyes on postpartum depression. And this was from a very personal experience. During COVID 2020, I went through postpartum depression. And at that point, I did not know what postpartum depression is. There are times we laugh with my husband. We're like, "How comes we had never heard about this before?" Because I had given birth to my second born, and before giving birth to her, 2 years before, I had lost my dad in a very like a very sudden way, and through that then I was expectant, and in the process I lost my pregnancy out of shock, and it took so long for me even to go seek medical attention, and that meant that my uterus was infected. And so we were very sure we would never give birth to another baby. Then God in his own way made it possible for us to have another baby. So when now I was going through the pregnancy period, I was not very keen on myself, because around that time I was also nursing a very close friend who was going through cancer process, and when I lost her, that's when I realized, I was pregnant, you know, the way your mind comes back, and that's the time life now starts reminding you. And the love I got for my baby still in the womb, when she was born, I did not know that affected me mentally. So I went through postpartum depression, and I keep saying postpartum is in different levels. And for me, because I had lost so much and I had not dealt with the loss, I became very clingy to my child, that I could never release the child. Where you stay for 2 days, you can't shower, you can't sleep, because you fear that if you sleep, the baby will be taken or something like that. So that's how now my friends, who 90% of the friends I have are deaf people, they would come to see me and they were not sure what is happening, and for me trying to explain, and that was my therapy. Every time I would go to the therapist and we talk, and next time I am meeting with the deaf people, we are speaking of what I'm going through. It was a very good healing journey for me. And through that I realized the deaf have no clue. If me, I had no clue, so I was imagining the deaf people have no clue. And how it was a therapy for me is when I was explaining to them and seeing them understand as I'm signing. That's where tracking hands, listening eyes came from. That they were listening with their eyes what I needed to express, and I was expressing it in a very different way. Of course, not with my voice. I was signing, and they were understanding, and they walked the journey with me. That's how my healing came through. And I thought, what about many other deaf women who are going through the same? And the beautiful, I would not say the beautiful thing, because that's the time the country was locked also because of COVID. So I put my contact out there. If any deaf mom gives birth and at that point they have no one to talk to, I am here. That's how now Talking Hands was born.
Oh, wow, wow, such beautiful. I know,
Yes.
I'm just like, the way I'm seeing you is you're selfless.
Yes.
I mean, when you say that when you take care of this cancer patient, you forgot that you're pregnant. I mean, you put yourself aside
Yes.
to focus on this, which
Yeah.
I can relate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful. Let me ask you, like, for example, when I told you that during the introduction, I come and say, hi, my name is Jemmie Mangode. I am an HR practitioner and all that. Now, if someone asks you, what do you do for a living? How will you answer that question?
Wow. I am a disability inclusion expert, but also my strength is in sign language. So I'm a
Okay.
sign language interpreter.
Interpreter.
Yes.
And then now when you link it with this, the talking hands and the listening eyes,
Yes.
what's normally their reactions? I mean, is it new to people? Because for me, I wouldn't say that I've had it many times, but I must say it's kind of like it's a scarce
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
scarce discussion, if I may say
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, because I run day to day the organization, and it's more of we advocate for maternal and mental wellness. That means we are doing counseling. I'm also a counselor by profession. I forget
Nice.
to say that. So I'm either doing counseling, I'm either working with deaf moms who are pregnant in the hospitals, I'm either being consulted on a mom who had a case that needed to be supported. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm sure in your walks of life or maybe in your daily duties, you've encountered deaf women who are pregnant. Could you please just give us a short story around it on your first encounter with them?
I think let me take you back that my high school, I was in the school for the deaf. And most of the times when we are adults, most of the friends we keep are either college friends or the high school friends. Now from high school, I carried with me my friends, and they're still part of me. And I would say I've encountered very many. I think through my hands, they have passed over 100 or more expectant mothers in different times, different scenarios. And the recent one was this January, whom we lost. And
Sorry.
I feel bad because I was meant to be there, but just one delay that made us not, because of miscommunication, and she didn't do it the right thing. The year before, we had a mom, the first ever case that I have dealt with very many in different ways. I have walked into labor wards and have held moms, their first babies. But the first one that I would say that was very unique was a mom who was 6 months expectant, and then her blood pressure was very high. The doctor advised that they needed to remove the baby as a preterm. That was a very unique case for me, that you have to work with this mom, working with a preterm, advising, being there like throughout. And she stayed in the hospital for about 2.5 months, and I was there almost every day. just to work with her, to guide her, and also emotionally to hold up her. Because you see now in a hospital setup where everybody is running their day, everybody is talking, even the mothers themselves, they are consulting. My baby is like this. Like there was a time I went and realized the doctors had not even noted that the baby had jaundice. That preterm baby, I went and said, this baby is not okay. If it was a mom, she had noted, but she did not ask. She thought that's how, because it's her firstborn baby. This is how small babies look like. So if it was a mother who was talking, maybe would have consulted another mother who would have said, oh no, there's a problem. So those are the struggles that we go through, and mostly in communication.
In communication. So just understanding your explanation, it means there are a lot of challenges that deaf mothers face, right?
Yes.
What are some of these challenges that they face? The pregnant mothers.
One, there are many, because you can imagine most of us normally, and especially hearing people, you hear the environmental noise, then they don't get a chance to hear the environmental noise. Like you'd board a matatu and there's a conversation on the radio discussing about maternal care or anything that you learn and you say, oh, I did not know that part. Or women in the market, they are always discussing things and maybe it's something you needed. But above all is also that there's no communication that targets them. There's so many communications around maternal care that the deaf people never get to understand. One reason being that some of them, their education background is very low because of communication barriers again. So you realize that not many who understand the print or written language. They want videos and sign language, which most of the times is not available. Even when they go to the hospitals where they need the support, you realize, especially when a pregnancy is very young, maybe 1 week, 2 months, the doctor is not able to say, this is a pregnancy, this is not malaria, they are having these symptoms because it's not malaria, it is the pregnancy. It's not very many times that the doctors are fast or quick enough to do pregnancy tests. Most of the times they want to give the medication, and it's because they did not understand what the communication was. So you realize many of them lose their pregnancies when they are very young because of the prescription and being misguided. So that's also another thing. They also, most of them are in that space where you are not sure whether is it a pregnancy, am I ready to go to the hospital? If I go to the hospital, what is expected of me? So most of them take so long before going to seek for medication. And you find a mom is going to the hospital when they're almost delivering. You realize that like I would say an example was during COVID time when a deaf mom gave birth, and then she texted me in the middle of the night and she told me, my baby is very hot. Of course, that's fever. And because that was the time we had curfew, I could not go to where she was. So I told her, remove all her clothes and wipe her with warm water and let her stay in a vest. I did not know what that meant. To us, a vest is a vest. But to a deaf mom saying a vest, she has never heard that word vest. So she's asking, what is a vest? I had to take a photo of my daughter's vest, send her for her to understand what a vest looks like. And even you, think through, you tell me, in your life, tell me how many times you are taught this is a dress, this is a trouser. Yes, you did in the lower primary, but it's not everything that you know today, especially baby clothes. You know, there's a romper, this is a trouser, this is a what. Most of the times you don't know unless somebody taught you. And it's not in a classroom being taught. It's either at the shop you have gone to buy baby clothes and the shopkeeper is telling you, do you want, how many sweaters do you need, how many stockings, you know, like that way. That's how we learn. But for them, because again of communication, they may be knowing, they may be seeing this a cup, but in the real sense, they do not know it's called a cup, because even unless somebody has taken more time. So one of the struggles I see that it's not very many people who are intentional in communicating to them. Yeah. So I find that their struggles goes around communication barriers, because the deaf can do anything else like any other person. If only somebody would be intentional in holding their hands, differently, being a little bit patient with them. Of course, the way they load things. There are times I will tell you, if I came here and you started speaking to me in your mother tongue, it will take so long for me to understand what you're telling me.
You might not even understand.
I may not even understand. I may assume you're talking about the phone or something, and maybe it's totally different.
Sure.
So being a little bit more graceful to them would help.
Yeah.
So the main struggle, the main challenge is communication barriers, and it goes around them. You find also their family members, not very many families understand sign language. So you realize that even them, you can find a deaf person who sits in the house where with the whole family, maybe a family of 5 or 6, the whole week, the only thing words they have used is like 5, because somebody has told them, bring that cup, by pointing. And she has not expressed maybe their feelings, their emotions, until they meet other deaf people. Most of them, they meet on Sundays. You realize that when they go to their churches or where they meet, their social places, they don't want to go home early. Again, by the time they are going back home, the family members are not understanding, why do you have to stay so long
Exactly.
away? It's because their communication is everything. It's like if you went to China today with their yo-yo and you are there and you're not sure what they are saying, you communicate, yes, because you have to, but in the real sense, you're not sure you're delivering. Then you realize that as you're passing, you hear somebody say jambo, even if they were not speaking the pure Swahili, you'll be looking for that person.
Yeah, right.
You're running looking for them because that's where you are, at least
You're
you can
safe.
get help. Yeah, that's the same thing with the deaf people.
All right. So just thinking about the mental health for them, and especially the anxiety, the fear, when they are pregnant. I mean, you are deaf, you are pregnant, the loneliness, just about their mental health. And also they're expected to, live in a world which was not designed for them. Actually, it was not designed. Was it designed for them?
Not
No, really. So then how again do they take care of that? How do you help them also to, navigate around this mental health issue?
Actually, we usually have a monthly meeting where we do peer counseling, we do group counseling, we listen. Most of the times they will come, we are just there, just saying, this is what is happening, this is what is happening. We're just listening. And some you can say, this one, as much as they are talking in the group, it needs more counseling, this just needs to be guided, this just needs a person just to listen to them. So we usually have monthly meetings. Our office are also very open, they come anytime. We have a way of communication through video calling. Even if now I am here and a deaf person is in Mombasa, you'll video call and tell me what they're going through. But for the last 4 months, 5 months, I've dealt with 2 cases that are very severe on postpartum depression. One was bad, that this mom remembered me. She walked from Mathare to University of Nairobi looking for me with her 1-month-old baby. She knew what she was looking for. She knew who she was looking for, but she didn't have a phone to communicate. So when I look at that, it makes me see that they know where they can get help. They know the few people who listen to them. So yeah, I would say we counsel, we talk, and I also, my number is out, my communication is out with them. And they also do refer. If you're pregnant and you need help, look for Judy. As much as I work with other interpreters, I work with a pool of people who support. I know if you are there, I know who to connect you with. But we work together.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Now let me just take you back to the talking hands and the listening eyes.
Yes.
They call it and the listening eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. So
Yeah.
let me. I just on a day-to-day work, what does it really mean? The talking hands and the listening eyes. Just to, if you are just to take the deaf pregnant women and put them together, what does it actually mean and on their day-to-day life?
It's a very complex thing because their lives are not just about the pregnancy. It's just the normal women who are expectant and they have their businesses, they have their jobs, but within their jobs, they're going through struggles of their emotions that they're not understanding. And most of the times, the people who they're working with are also not understanding. So most of the times, we are like on a doctor on call. Like, we have this mom, she's going through this, we have this, she's having this issue. So most of the times is to make them first understand. And that's why we come together as deaf women, and mostly the peer counseling, the monthly meetings, is to help them to understand, yes, I'm pregnant and my emotions may be very different. This is how I may be feeling. I may be feeling sad, I may be feeling angry, I may be feeling I don't want this person, I may be working with this colleague and I don't feel like I want them. So how do we handle these emotions? And I have seen growth in their journey, most of those who were together, because you guide them. Also, on a daily activity, our daily activities, our contacts are within the county hospitals, and especially Nairobi. Although we have gotten even outside Nairobi, but Nairobi has really embraced us. We work with different hospitals, the county hospitals, but if they have a deaf mom and they're not understanding, they will even call on a video call. I have talked to doctors. We don't have to be there. Even if you called on a video call and this mom explains to me what they're going through or what is happening, I'll be able to guide. So we also do that. We also have counseling. We counsel them. If a deaf mom is there and needs counseling, and maybe it's you who lives with them and you say, I think this needs counseling. Our office is open, so we also do counseling. And we also train sign language so that people like you who may want to learn so that they can support them, they know how to communicate with them. We'll do very basic communication and through very basic sign language so that you're able to understand a little, especially family members who are working with these moms daily, on a daily activity, or either those who are, because most of the times you find deaf moms who are married. Most of the times they're married to deaf people themselves. But if they're married to hearing people, we work with these hearing people, a journey of therapy for them to understand what their wives may be going through. Them not thinking this mom is pretending to be this and not this. So we support them on their mental wellness also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I know that's really impactful. But now looking at your job, your role that you're just giving back to the community, what is the most challenging part with this job that you are doing? Without, and in fact, you can give us just a case without touching on personal issues, just trying to, without sharing so much personal issues. Yeah. Details, I mean. So what is this challenge that you've really faced?
One of the greatest
Or the most challenging case, because I know you have different cases. You find that there's this pregnant deaf mom who really needs to get someone to interpret. Those are some of the challenges you face. But which is the most challenging case that you've ever encountered without giving so much details? Yeah.
Hey, I have encountered a few, and one of them, just as I said, is communication. One of a young girl, she was 15, gets gang raped, and it was a bad one because the people who took her to the police, and it was a different case that took so long. But in the process, this girl, the people misunderstood. They thought it's her foster dad who has done that. So in the process of beating the mob justice, trying to get justice for this girl, and it was not the father. So this father has to be in the police custody for so long until the girl gives birth. And then the process of the court cases and all that. And I found that family almost the parents were almost divorcing because this is a mom feeling my daughter. But the real thing was it was miscommunication. And in the process, when the mob justice came to beat the dad, there was a young girl who was 6 years old in the process who got, later after the dad was rescued by the police, the girl died because she got sick and died waiting for their father. So you can imagine those are some of the very hard questions that you deal with. And I felt that from where I sit, one of the struggles, and this has really carried me emotionally to date, because I see if there was better support, this family would not have gotten this way. If they had a sign language interpreter, this information would have not gone the way it went. One of the challenges I would say is that because we are not very many organizations who are doing this, we need more people in our space, but you realize because of funding, we can't employ so many people. We can't, actually, I work with the volunteers because we have not been funded yet. So you find these are our struggles, because even if we want to be here and there's a case that a deaf person needs support, maybe let's say in Mathare, maybe in Kibera, you need transport even if you're not charging the services. You need to get there. You need, some of these moms, when they get pregnant, they go through struggles of lack of employment, because you see, they do casual jobs. So when I get pregnant and I start getting sickly, that means I will not be able to fetch for my baby and for myself. So these are some of the challenges and some of the cases that these moms expect. Judy, I don't have food, we don't have this, and that's the time maybe even you are also struggling. You know, life sometimes is not balanced. So those are the I would say those are the struggles, and those are the cases that I've seen that are very, very challenging for me.
That's so heartbreaking, but anyway,
Yeah.
may the good Lord guide and bless you and bless the work of your hands. I think you're really doing so well, and also championing this. This is such a powerful help to the community, and you're doing it on a voluntary services. I mean, that's really, and that brings me to the question I wanted to ask you. What are the gaps in terms of the supporting system? In you look at the government, health sector, looking at the Ministry of Health, just what are some of the gaps? And that's number one. And then number two, what really needs to change urgently for the deaf pregnant mothers? Yes.
First, I would say the gaps. The Kenyan Constitution 2010, we allowed, and the government recognized Kenyan Sign Language as a third language in Kenya. But even after recognizing, they did not do beyond that. Then we came to the Public Service Commission. They said, because they're the ones who give policies, they said that we need to have 5% of the employees in the public offices to be people with disabilities. That means even deaf people would be employed there. But what happens is that if you are employing a deaf person in your organization, that means you need either a sign language interpreter, or you need to learn sign language. The staff within need to learn sign language, but that is not happening. So that's why you find even when they go to the hospitals, they have no people to support them. And this is just from the gate, where the security guard is. They were asking, I want to go to the maternity wing, I don't want to go to this side, I want to consultation or the pharmacy. They don't know where to go. So those are the gaps I would say that we need to start advocating in every area we are in, that we need sign language interpreters, we need signing, we need disability inclusion, and not just on the papers, but inclusion in the real sense that we have these people, we have the staff understanding and learning sign language. The gaps I have seen is that's one. Sometimes even the way the doctors or the pharmacists, let me say the medical area, they handle them so fast. Like I'm explaining to you something, this is white, this is green, but I have no time to listen. I'm doing this because I want to attend to the next patient. But if we were a little bit more careful, or a little bit intentional with the deaf people, even if there was no sign language you are writing to them, you confirm whatever I have written on the paper, you understood. That way would bridge so many gaps within.
Yes. Okay. I am certain, and let me say I'm positive that some help will come along the way.
Yeah, sure.
Because this is for good. I mean, it's good intention, and it's really supporting the communities. And I think we just need to do more of sensitization and more of educating people on how then can we come in together and support this day for even the blind, pregnant women, and not just pregnant, but the women who are vulnerable as well.
Sure.
Yes, yeah. I think that's really, really important. But again, just looking at you, listening to the story, I'm emotionally touched. And looking at you, and this is the daily thing that you do most of the time. You get calls, even sometimes in the middle of the night, and you
Yeah,
have
for
to find
sure.
your way to where the mothers
Very
are.
true, very
And
true.
that really is, that's enormous, enormous emotional toll that takes from me. I mean, you experience that. So you as a person, how then do you also help yourself in terms of,
My mental
yeah,
wellness.
your mental. I always just call it mental wealth. How do you
Yeah.
take care of your mental wealth?
I would say I'm alert. I'm alert of what is happening, and when I get overwhelmed, I also have people support system. I have people like you and others who I'll go to and tell them this what I'm feeling. I know I have a therapy. I'd say like therapy tools that I do for myself.
Okay.
And one of them is I will go maybe to my children and we do a different thing from, from all the noise and everything. I either listen to their stories, they will sing to me. I love music, so it's also a therapy tool for me. I'll listen to music. I also have very supportive family.
Great.
Very supportive, because if I told my husband I am needed somewhere in the middle of the night, he will take me without questioning, or when I say this is how I am feeling, I don't feel like I want to talk this moment, they give me my space also. I read a lot also, but I also go through therapy as well.
Okay.
It has really worked for me
Has this work ever broken your heart?
many times.
I know. And so, how did you manage that?
I have buried moms, I have buried their babies. And most of the times is when they give birth and the doctors don't understand how to pass the information to them in case of a loss of life. They just living life like the baby has died, no explanation, no nothing. Or you find even when the deaf mom herself is going through a struggle, and maybe the doctors are not able to explain, this is what you should do, this is, like I was telling you, this January we buried one of our moms. And this one really broke me more than ever before, because it's a mom we had talked even when she was giving birth. A person that you are on a daily communication, I would not expect. And I was also going through a struggle that I was not able to be with her at that point. So I realized that had we done something differently, that's how I kept feeling, had we done something differently, if the doctors reached out differently, if they did not understand, this would not have, this life would have been protected and would not have lost the life. So I go through heartbreaks, and sometimes the heartbreaks of this mom, I have explained everything and I have finished. I have gone home knowing they have understood, only to realize that they did not understand what I meant or what. So most of the times it's practical. You literally, the way you teach a small child, not because they are mentally retarded, but for the sign language is more practical. So when I explain something, I also need to follow it up. One of the thing is that one of the moms gave birth one time, and there's some dawa they put in the eyes of the children, of the babies when they are newborn. And this mom did not know that she needed to wipe, even when they were being discharged, that she needed to wipe the eyes. So she goes home, keeps the baby. 2 days later, I ask, how is the baby doing? Says the baby doesn't open the eyes, only sleeps. Then I'm there wondering. I said, let me go and see. Instead of asking, and maybe it's something different. I thank God that I went, because this baby would have had jaundice. So, the eyes have some discharge. That discharge closes completely if you don't wipe. So that made me see this child maybe the eyes would have been affected differently if I did not go. So those are some of the heartbreaks where you think you have explained or you have done something, or it would have been better, but it hasn't. Yeah, there are many. I would say there are many.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, but you're strong.
Yeah, yeah,
Man,
sure.
I can listen to those stories and I'm feeling like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And again, what would you wish for normal people like I would understand better what it costs to do what you're doing? Financially, emotionally, spiritually,
Oh, yes.
name them all,
Yes.
because,
Yeah.
And with a lot of humility, even to my community. There are things we really take for granted, like I can see, I can hear, I can talk. You know, let me divert a bit. Sometimes when I'm having my team's meeting, even in the office, and we normally have it on a weekly basis. And I ask someone to pray, and there's those, sometimes you find there are people who wants to pray, there are those who don't want to volunteer. They say prayer is the most simplest thing you can do. And then you just say, okay, God, thank you, Lord, for you've given us the eyes that can see today, the hands that can work in our laptops today, the legs that can walk, and the ears that can hear. We don't take it for granted. Thank you, Lord, be with us, go be at the center of us all. Now, and you see, we take that for granted. You wake up, you don't even thank God that
By then you never
I can
even
see,
remember.
I can hear, I can talk, I can smile, I can eat. Do you know even eating is a gift?
Yes, it is.
How to chew is a gift.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have a lot of, in the Bible, there's a story of manna from heaven. And how I interpret that manna, because we say that manna stopped coming. For me, I say it's there every day. It just depends with how
you
how
see
you
it.
interpret your manna.
Yes.
Because for me, my manna from heaven is always there every day, that I can see you, I can hear you, I can talk, I can chew food.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, what would you want us to understand? I mean, those who have been enabled to understand from the people who have been enabled differently, because them, they have been enabled differently. Yeah, they're still human beings like us. Yeah. So just what do you really want us to understand more? What it costs emotionally, financially, and all that. Yeah.
I would say first emotionally and physically. The people with disabilities are a little bit slower compared to the able-bodied. Because imagine if you are deaf and there was an interpreter here, and the way we are communicating, you have to rely on the I am speaking, the interpreter has to relay the message for you to understand. So if there was a third person who was waiting for your feedback, they have to wait because I'm speaking, you see the channel. So if you're doing it very fast, you want to finish and go, this person will not understand what you're saying, because they need a little bit grace for them to understand things. Even if you're explaining, clean this table, it's not the same as if you told a person, just come with a cloth and wipe. You have to explain in a different way for them to understand what you mean. If it was a person on a wheelchair, sometimes because they're also part of what I go through also, that this person, you just need to know, is this place accessible? If it's accessible, are they able to push themselves, or do they need help? Those little things, just ask, do you need extra help? If yes, I can help. If no, we can move on. But be a little bit patient. Also, the blind also, because sometimes navigating where we are seated, maybe because there's chairs, there are tables, there are everything. They just need to be guided, and they will do things like just the able-bodied people. So for me, I tell the able-bodied that if you see a person with disability, first, don't rush to help them. Ask always, do you need help? If they say yes, then move ahead. Because it's like now with your beautiful fascinator, I see like it's falling. Instead of me asking you,
Maybe
I just go. Then
maybe the falling part is the beauty.
it's the beauty, and I'm here telling you.
Yeah, right.
So just be extra careful, but also ask questions. Learn to, and they appreciate when people ask them. Because instead of gazing and you're wondering how to help, ask them. Then they appreciate that. So yes, financially, it's a story, because we are really struggling. As I told you, we deal with very many types of support. Even the counseling, we offer counseling for free. But you can imagine this therapist has gone to school, needs also to support themselves because this is work. So actually our greatest challenge, we are looking for funding of affording therapists that they can go even to different hospitals where these moms are giving birth. We want to have different days within the hospitals where they are coming and they pour out their hearts. And it's not just a matter of hospitals. We have so many cases that need therapy. Even marriages, we have those women with teen children, the struggles are real. And even we also take them through to understand themselves before you go out to support others. As a mom with disability, also understand yourself and what you are going through. So those are the challenges, we'll say, and those are our struggles also, and the support we look for.
Like I say, I believe and I trust, and it will be a testimony
Amen.
that help will come.
Amen.
But what happens today when the funds dries up? There's this mother who was just called in. There's this one who needs to be taken care of. Sometimes you don't have any, fuel prices have gone up higher.
Yes.
You need to drive there.
Yes.
I mean, you need to get someone to help. And even you've mentioned even the therapists, the counselors, they still also need to get help. They need to each. They need to reach to the destination. They cannot fly. I mean, what happens? How do you help with that?
First, I have never allowed lack of funds to come in between my support to a mom who needs me. So I will, if I am at the corner, I'll call Jemima. I know you may be in the same level with me, but I have this case. How can you support me? I'll call you. Then you give me whatever you'll give me for that day. It will push me to get to there. But I've never allowed myself to sit back and say, now that we have no funding, I don't know how to help. I'm always looking out for other ways. Even if I'm not able to, or I'll call a person who is closer to where this mom is and needs support, and I will tell them it's on a voluntary basis. If you're able to pay this service, okay. If we are not able, we have also people who have allowed themselves to be in our space to volunteer to do counseling for us.
Okay. I get you. So just because I know I have a beautiful community, and I'm sure that those who are really ready to help.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll find they'll come your way. All the NGOs, all my friends, the community around me, they'll all come in to support.
Yeah.
But I'm just asking for the listeners now today, the viewers, and even for those who will watch later, and maybe they'd really like to be part of the help.
Yes.
Or rather, if they want to be part of your whatever you're building that is very beautiful,
yes,
how can they show that in the most meaningful way, and see how to also help the talking hands and the listening eyes? Yeah. So how can they be of meaningful, and how can they help you? I mean, to still continue taking care of these beautiful women?
Yes. We need support, yes, in all angles, both financially, physically, and even in kind, because we have some of these moms who have given birth and maybe they can't afford a diaper. That's my everyday struggle. You can imagine a mom trying to balance between a meal and a diaper for the baby. So you find those are struggles. So we find people who donate diapers for us, which we supply to these moms. We have moms who have their children have outgrown their clothes and they don't know where to take them to. They bring to us and we give some of these moms, which reduces their budget again. It's not that they can't afford, but you see they're struggling, so we reduce the budget. We also have people who come and say, I may not be financially able, but I can offer every day 2 hours to do counseling, especially counselors. Or we have pediatricians, we have doctors who say when we have our monthly meetings, we can come through, and if you need support, like to take them, to check on them for free. We have mothers who need, because our mothers are diverse. We have those who are HIV positive and they're still with small babies. They need extra support, they need nutrition, they need to be advised, they need to be checked. So we look at people all angles. And even spiritually, we need prayers more than anything else, because it's what keeps us going every day. And even mentioning us, that we know this organization that can fund this project, because what we are doing now is doing more of empowerment for them, that they don't have to wait for somebody to give them that cleaning job. I can make soaps, I can do this, I just need a little bit capital to start this this thing, and I am able to start my own business. So we are also looking even for financial support in terms of financial advice, literacy, so that we are able to train them on how to save and how to start their businesses as well.
Wow. I think that's important, and we'll just share the numbers below.
I forgot. We are looking, this one is this one is real. We have very many children of our deaf moms, especially this season. that they're not going to school. So if somebody will be touched, I want to sponsor 5 kids, 2 kids, 3 kids, whichever way, we are ready.
It will come your way.
Yes, yeah.
It will come your way. You know, it says that faith sees before it happens. I mean,
Yes.
you first of all have to see,
Yes.
touch, then it comes to action.
Yes.
So the fact that you even mentioned it has even sealed it more.
Yes.
So I am sure my beautiful community, and also you're going to share the contacts
Yes.
down, and also we'll put it on the description on area that you can really support the talking hands and the listening eyes, on how they can still support the community and become the most, how do I put it, the world-renowned support that we can have even in our country, even and beyond.
Yes.
Yes. So we are going to share those contacts and the areas where you can support on that. And just before we close, because I know now we are almost just about to close, I'd just like to have just a few more questions, but then we can close. So what do you want the deaf mothers across Kenya, across Africa, to hear from you today?
Wow.
Because I know that's now we are going to have now the listening
Yes.
eyes and the talking hands. Yes,
Maybe I will say this then I sign.
yes. You can sign at the same time. You can do it as you talk.
Yes,
Or-
but it will, because a lot of concentration, I
Oh, I
may lose
hear
my.
you. I hear
so
you.
let me first say it, then I
Yes.
sign.
Yes.
I want all deaf moms in the world, and mostly in Kenya, because this is where we are, to know that God has placed them to carry the special gifts they are carrying for a reason, and they are very, very important in our eyes and in the eyes of God, because they were chosen to carry that gift with a reason. So never feel like you don't belong, never feel like you're not loved, never feel like it was a mistake. It happened at the right time. So feel loved, feel loved, feel loved. Thank you. So thank you.
Hey, hey, this is called
This clapping and
this
congratulating.
clapping. This clapping, and then you say, "I am happy." What do you say?
I'm happy.
Yay.
Oh, happy.
I'm happy.
Oh,
Yay.
happy. And
Yeah,
happy.
yeah. I have my cousin who is deaf,
Wow.
and we recently celebrated her graduation.
Wow.
Actually, let me just share this. But if you check on the Acing Life with Jemmie in the YouTube channel, you'll find where we are celebrating the differently enabled persons. So my cousin was just she was okay until when she was I think 11. Then after that, she just became deaf. She could not hear. But then because the help came through, she was taken to a deaf school. And she went to a deaf school, and then after that she did so well, and even went up to university, Maseno University.
Wow.
I think Maseno University offers the
Sign language.
yes, yeah, they do that, and she passed so well. So
Wow.
last year she
Wow.
graduated,
Wow.
and now we were celebrating, and then she was telling me how you can, yes,
Clap or
clap
happy.
or happy
Yeah.
with the gown. She was
Yeah.
just happy, and then
Yeah.
we are late.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I think I identify with those you say, but again, I think today, that was just on the way. Today, I think it's been so emotional. I think the podcast has really been touchy, and it's not business as usual, where we talk about normal people and all that. And in fact, I am sure even among my community members, that those who are listening or hearing deaf pregnant mothers for the very first time. And what you can say with Acing Life with Jemmie as a community and the podcast, for us, how we can support is just to do a lot of sensitization and more of having people come in to educate and to make people aware, and also to show people on different ways on how they can support. That's something that Acing Life with Jemmie can commit
Wow.
to doing so. But if should we find other platforms, also I think we'll be able to support on the same.
Thank you.
So I think would like to end there, and just to say that to our today's guests, didn't just tell us a story. She showed us what it looks like when one person decides that an invisible community deserves to be seen, deserves hands that show up.
Wow.
Deserves eyes that truly listen. So we really want to thank you so much for what you're doing.
Oh, yes.
So if this episode moved you, do something with that feeling. Share it, donate, volunteer, advocate. Tell someone about hands that are talking and the eyes that are listening. Because awareness is the very first step to change. And then to every deaf mother listening or watching, you are seen, you are heard, you are not forgotten, and you are far more powerful than the world has given you credit for. This has been Perspective Flux, where every perspective has a power to change a life. Thank you very much, and until next time, let's keep on showing up for each other. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is the one of the many, or the first of the many.
Thank you.
Remember, growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the flux. Welcome to Perspective Flux. Let's grow together.